Shall we begin?
This is Live Speak with hosts Justin Gilson, Alan Quant, and John Rainey. We're bringing you tech news, gadget reviews, Kickstarter investment strategies, and anything we want to discuss with you. Stick around, it's going to be a great show.
On Live Speak Radio.
Welcome, everybody, to Live Speak Radio. It is October 5th, 2014. I'm here with John Rainey and Alan Quant.
John Rainey.
Can you guys believe it's October 5th already?
I know.
Where'd the year go?
It's not gone yet.
Degrees out yesterday.
It's not gone yet, I know, but I mean the weather has changed here. It's fall and it's cold at night, colder, and there's Halloween stuff out, and before you know it, there'll be Thanksgiving stuff, and then Christmas. And this time of year just flies by. Mm-hmm. Every year.
Today was the first wintry day we've had. We've had really good weather up until recently, up until today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This morning was horrible.
What?
I went to the lake yesterday and it snowed.
It snowed?
There was snow
In Indiana at the lake.
Yep.
Wow. Was it
Is
cold,
that normal?
like super, super cold, or was it just enough to snow?
It got to like 40.
Whoa.
And there were little flakes falling.
I guess I don't know what elevation you guys are there, how high up you are.
We're at the elevation of suck.
That's
I'm
good to
about
know.
2.5 feet off the floor.
See, I'm pretty close to sea level here, so it takes a while for us to get snow, if we ever do, in this area.
I don't think I've ever seen it this early. I mean, usually it's like late November.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when it gets really bad here, but yeah, late October, early November, it starts getting ugly and just rainy, cold and rain. Sometimes we get snow, but nothing like over in Indiana. Hey, at least this year the squirrels won't be eating your internet.
That's true.
You don't have to worry about them little guys.
I don't. Just got to pay my bill and we'll be good.
I know. I had an experience with that, too. I think maybe my bill didn't get paid or something. Right before we were about to broadcast, internet gone. Off.
They waited.
Yeah, they knew. They knew this was the time we
paid
broadcast.
somebody overtime on a Sunday night or Sunday afternoon
Bastard.
to disconnect you right at the opportune time.
I don't know how they know, but they do.
told them.
Nothing special, just got bribed. No big deal.
The snow made me grumpy, and I figured I'd ruin somebody else's life.
You know what's making me a little bit grumpy is the Facebook app, because of their new browser that they put into it. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed it. I've talked to you a little bit about this, Alan. Is in the Facebook app. This is for Android. I don't know if it's the same for iPhone or not. But when you open up a link,
The Facebook app or the Messenger app?
The Facebook app itself. I don't know if it does it in the Messenger app. I'll have to test that. But in the actual
trying
app,
this live on the air.
yeah, go ahead. The actual app, if you open a link now, if you have the updated version of it, instead of it opening in your browser like Chrome or Firefox, whatever browser you have on your phone, it opens in the Facebook browser. So now, it's some stuff works in there. I couldn't open a YouTube video in it the other day. I mean, they have to worry about Flash and Java, and I mean, you guys know better than anyone that now. I mean, does that mean you guys are going to have to develop for that sort of browser now?
That would be really stupid.
I mean, I would assume they just copied like Chrome or something, so you wouldn't have to recreate things for Facebook. But that's Facebook. They'll do what they want, and we have to just conform.
I can't say. I'd say they'll probably, as you said, build it around something else so that it's kind of universal.
I would think so. I mean, with everything being so open source nowadays, I mean, Firefox, they're open source. Chrome, I just don't see them building their own. That would be a stupid market to get into, in my opinion.
Yeah, build it around IE. That's a winner.
Yeah, there we go. That's the next step. Everybody knows that. God, I just regret using Internet Explorer every time. But yeah, I don't know if the Messenger does that or not, if it opens in a browser. But there is an option in the app that you can, in the top right, there's for the settings, you can click open with, and then it'll open in your regular browser. But why doesn't it? I never knew that was an option. It just started doing it. I would rather it tell me, hey, if you want to open it in Facebook, click this button. And I would obviously say no. But instead, it's on by default. I guess it's their app.
I never noticed it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it just started a few days ago in the app.
Right.
Yeah,
Obviously, it hasn't hit my side.
Yeah, I must not have the newest one because I'm not getting that effect.
Not doing it, huh? Interesting. Well, we have talked about that before, where some areas get things before the other. The West Coast gets things
Soft
sometimes.
launch.
Yeah, they get the soft launch, as opposed to the, what is it? The hard launch?
Hard launch?
I knew you wanted to say that.
Did you say hard lunch?
Hard lunch, yeah. When you eat something crunchy for lunch. Oh gosh, good to have you guys back. I hear though John is having a little bit of problems over in Ireland with some water problems. We can really get into that in a few minutes. But
It's not like we don't have much of it falling out of the sky at the moment either.
right, yeah. I mean, in a summary, what's happening there? We'll talk more about it here in a little bit. But in a summary, they're charging you for money for water, charging you for money.
In a nutshell, the government sold us out to the EU, and we now have to pay for water. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay, I guess.
So you guys didn't have to pay for water before?
We do pay for water through taxation, but they've put meters outside our houses, and they're going to bill us directly.
Yeah, now it's going to be
that's
per usage or something, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Without removing the taxation.
Oh,
Yeah, so double bill,
silly.
Triple bill, actually.
triple. Good Lord, you're a spy for the government. Can't you have them do something?
That's what I've been doing for the last 5 months.
Ah, I knew it. John's been putting in the meters. He's a double agent. He pretends
Believe
he hates
me.
the meters.
Believe me, I'm completely anti-meter. Completely.
I'm anti-meter. That's good. I got a copy of, I wanted to tell you, the Windows 10. And for those that don't know, it is now called Windows 10. Last we heard it was possibly Windows 9 or Windows Threshold.
Threshold.
They went ahead, people from Nokia, of course, have a lot more information about it. But they decided to go with Windows 10.
Did they just assume 9 was going to suck?
I think they knew it was just going to be terrible. But it's exactly like the Vista and Windows 7 thing. I have the technical preview, which is available for free. You just sign up, and you can download the ISO file, install it on your computer, or like I did. I just took a partition, about 100 gigs or so, on my current hard drive, and installed Windows 10 as a dual boot. And I checked it out, and it's Windows 8. I mean, that's all it is. It's Windows 8 with a few more tweaks. So we're back to just like Vista and 7, where we knew Windows 8 sucked, we knew Vista sucked, and now Windows 10 comes out just like they did with Windows 7.
I wonder that they not call it 9 because 9 is German for no.
Maybe. You never know with them.
Windows, no.
It was probably one of those. It just tested better. Windows 10. Sure. There's a few things that I've noticed in there that are kind of nice. When it comes to organizing the windows, you do have multiple desktops now, which has only taken them, 15 years to figure out. Because Mac OS has had that for a long time, right?
Yeah.
That's a really cool feature.
It is nice. And I've wanted to have that on a PC because, especially in the work that I do, and I'm sure with you guys too, is that I'll be working on a project or something at work, say working on a VPN, trying to get a VPN set up, but then I have to break from that project and go and change somebody's email accounts and then their user, I'd like to have a separate work area for that. So now with this, they have different desktops, you can call them. They're called task views. And you can set them up to have whatever kind of icons on the desktops that you want, things like that, customize them. And I love that that's on there, but why did it take so long? Ubuntu had that for a long time. Mac OS
I think they've had
that.
the longest.
Ubuntu, I think so too.
Yeah.
I just don't get why it took them so long to do that. But
Now I wonder if they're going to do it as cool as Mac has done it. Mac's got it so you can have multiple desktops on multiple monitors. So you don't just like go to desktop 2 and then all your monitors change. You can actually have
interesting.
one monitor has so like what I would do is my main monitor at work when I had the Mac would I would have Photoshop on one desktop, Aptana on another one, and pretty much everything that I needed tool wise to be right in front of me, and that way I could just do like a really quick shortcut and it flips the screen, but my other screens stay the same, so my browser's still open on the right screen and things like that.
That is nice.
It's really nice. And so whatever screen you're focused on is what the keyboard shortcut works for.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to test that out because I only ran it on one monitor so far, because the funny part is when I put that on the partition of my hard drive, it deactivated my Windows 7 that is actually on the same hard drive. Because when I rebooted my computer, it said, "You may be a victim of counterfeit. This is not a genuine copy of Windows. Please register, blah, 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 blah." So I had to put the product key back in and restart, and it stayed so far, but I don't know why it did that. It's strange. But I'm going in, full tilt with this Windows 10. I signed up, for, a Microsoft account. I'm trying to use their App Store. I'm trying to do it the way they intend it to see how it works out. And I got to say, it's super fast. Windows 8 we know is pretty quick. But man, I don't know what they did. It is really fast. If you click,
is it true that it's going to be free for Windows 8 users?
That's what I've heard so far. Yeah. For current Windows 8 users and 8.1 users, it'll be a free upgrade, which they should do because it is Windows 8.
They got to jump into that bandwagon there.
Yeah. And then, charge for the next version of Windows 20 or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
Skip 10 more. I don't know. But yeah, absolutely should be free. People have been dealing with Windows 8 and then Windows 8.1, then Update 1, then Update 2, and now Windows 10.
They should have called it Windows X. It would look cool then.
They should.
X. I think there's some copyright on that.
There might be. I don't know. It's so far I like it. It's pretty quick. I'm still getting used to it. The start menu is strange because it has all your apps like a regular Windows 7 start menu. But then it also has on the right side a whole bunch of tiles, and they're active tiles. So you can kind of have your Windows 8 Metro theme right on your desktop there. And the other thing I did notice, like I said, this is a very early technical preview. It's not going to be out for a while. So I don't know if everything's in it yet, but the Windows Aero stuff that they put in from Vista on up, with like the Windows Shake, if you take any browser window, and you shake it with your mouse, everything else closes or minimizes. Have you ever, or if you snap it to the top of the window, it maximizes that window. All those little things like that. They've thrown in a different one now. You can actually pin it to the corners of your monitor, which you couldn't before. Again, another weird thing why wasn't that part of the original? I have no idea. I did notice when you pin it if you take a window and you pin it to the right side, it brings up all the other windows that you have open in little tiny icons on the left side, so you can decide which other window you want to put on there.
Right.
So that's kind of
does it pin to the monitor, or if you have two screens, it obviously pins to the right side of your two monitors?
It pins to the right screen of the one monitor so far. I don't know. I gotta see if it does, how well it does with multiple monitors, because I haven't even installed drivers or anything for it yet.
Right.
I mean, I really shouldn't have to. It's Windows 10 should have every driver installed in it basically anymore.
So you said you did a dual boot, not a virtual machine?
Yeah. I think I might do a virtual machine though. There's a lot of free virtual machine software out there, and that gives you the freedom to not mess up your computer, your hard drive. Or you can find an old hard drive if you want and put it on there. But a virtual machine would be nice because you could run it inside of your whatever you're running now, Windows 7 or 8, and compare them side by side. So I think that's going to be my next step. I think actually Alan and I talked about I'm going to probably do some videos on this Windows 10 technical preview. The good thing is they're actually asking for advice from the users, and this is the technical preview is supposed to be for IT pros or tech savvy people right now to test out and submit your problems or ideas to Microsoft. Whether they listen to them.
Any problems or?
Well, I think they're maybe related to Windows 10, but go ahead. Tell them everything. I
Knock
got
yourself
student
out,
loans.
yeah.
You tell them. Yeah, let them know.
I've been eating fiber for weeks, Microsoft. I need
How
answers.
about with the water charges over here?
Yeah, I know, right? Oh gosh, yeah, they're moving in the same direction. I mean, it's Windows 8 with a twist. It starts automatically to the desktop, not the Windows Metro thing. And I mean, that's what we've been asking for since Windows 8 came out. And they're finally starting to get it.
I think they got badly burnt the last time, though. I think that they actually have, or they seem to have started listening to the general public because they put the start menu back into Windows 8 eventually.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully they'll start taking people's opinions on board, people's advice.
One would think your consumer population would be the ones to talk to,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
not lab rats or whatever.
exactly.
They talked to you the last time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who they're referencing. The owner of Nokia that they brought over from a failing company. Get BlackBerry in there. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I mean, I still wonder what the effect of the enterprise version is going to be. If for businesses, because I still, as a networking guy, I can't see using this on a full network. I really can't. I mean, people might like it, but I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, I don't know how the sharing works and, Active Directory and Windows Server and all that stuff put together. They probably don't even know. So it's going to be very consumer based. And of course, it's very much geared toward the tablet, the Surface Pro. They said you can actually download this technical preview and install it on a tablet.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't know how you do that. I've never installed anything on the tablet before.
Where did you get your copy of it?
I got it from Microsoft's website. I'll get the link here for you. I read about it on, I think, Gizmodo or something, and then I went to a couple different... PC World is actually the website I got it from.
Right.
Let me see.
Yeah, I've
I
got it up. I'm
bookmarked
going to
them.
download it when we're done.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat here. I'll shoot it over to you guys. It's the article is how to install Windows 10. And it has a link to download it, and then I believe there's a product key. Yeah, about halfway down that web page on PC World, there's a product key that I didn't have to put that in. I don't think. I don't remember if I did or not. Honestly, I kept it just in case. But yeah, like they mentioned in this to try, install it either on a new PC or virtual machine, and they give options for Grab VirtualBox. Which is it's a free one. Oracle has a really good no-cost virtual machine tool that you can download from the webpage. But I don't know, give it a shot. It's there for testing right now, and I think making some videos about it would be informative for everybody.
Yeah, I think I have to install that after.
I mean, I have the speed of it is what caught me the first time. And starting the computer up and shutting it down, especially, like with Windows 7, you hit shut down and it seems like it's closing every program and it takes forever to shut your computer down. With this, as soon as I hit shut down, it was off. So I think it goes into more of like Mac does, more of a sleep mode, or sort of a hibernation rather than.
And have
shutting
you a
down.
solid state drive?
I don't. That's the thing. I have an old 5400 RPM hard drive, and it's still fast.
Right.
So I can't even imagine with a solid state drive how that would work.
And you installed it on a partition.
Yeah, I have a 1 terabyte hard drive, and I just went into disk management, and you can do a shrink and shrink it down about 100 gigabytes, and that'll make you a good partition that you can install it on. Or I don't know, you might even be able to install it on a thumb drive. That would work. It's essentially a solid state drive.
I'm afraid to look. I don't think I have 100 gigabytes on my hard drive.
Well, I think all they said you need is about 10 or 20. Let's see. Hard disk space 16.
16, yeah.
Yeah. I did 100 because I plan on downloading software and trying to run things like Photoshop and see how they work on Windows 10.
Yeah, that would be a good plan.
What the requirements and things are like that, but I don't know. It looks good to me so far. We'll find out. It's very, very, very early. I got the 64-bit version downloaded and the 32-bit, but I installed 64-bit for my processor. But yeah, give it a shot. It's very bright and vibrant. I can tell you that. It's a lot of bright colors.
That's what I wanted.
Yes, I'm sure it's all you wanted from your Windows 10.
Have we a release date on it?
Have what?
Is there a release date?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I want to
They
say
said something like September of next year.
that's what it was originally, and then it changed to it actually changed to October, and then that got scrapped, and then I believe it's January of 2015. So a couple more months.
Right. So it's not rushed.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Honestly, everything they do feels like it's rushed last minute. So
yeah, I don't see a date here in this article.
No, I don't. I'm not sure. It's been moved around so much. I don't know. I do see a lot of articles saying that it's going to be free for Windows 8 users.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, they might change their mind on that last minute too. Who knows? All I know is that right now it's technical previews free.
I don't think they have an option.
I don't
either.
either.
No one's going to want it if they don't do it for free.
I don't think they're going to... You're right. I don't think they'll sell a single copy if they try and charge. I mean, back Windows 7, Windows XP was $300, $500. I mean, come on. Who's going to pay for that?
But who buys, like, in fairness, who buys copies of Windows operating systems?
I don't think anybody does except for businesses.
Businesses, yeah. And they get volume licenses usually to get a discount.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and that's the other thing too on the Windows 8 machines. You don't see a sticker on the back of them anymore with a product key. You don't get it. It's just in the computer. That's all you get, and you don't get the product key.
See, that's something I was thinking about. So you have a hard disk failure.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Oh, you have to contact Microsoft. You have to,
which is
it's a pain. Yeah, you have to contact them and prove that you have or had a copy. Probably send your hard drive in so they can prove it. I don't know. I mean, it is a pain.
And that's one thing I never looked at with Windows 8. Have you a facility of making backup disks?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, some of the computers will come with their own, like Toshiba comes with their own, or Lenovo comes with their own. But Windows does have a backup system in it with Windows 8 where you can make either a bootable flash drive or bootable CDs in case the hard drive crashes. And that's always a recommendation I give to everybody when you get a new computer. Make a backup to start with. And that way, like now without the product keys, at least you'll have a copy.
Well,
yeah, but
I wonder...
you do.
Whoa, buddy.
Whoa!
Well, I wonder.
He's
Go
waiting.
ahead.
And
anyway. And I don't know now. I don't know. What was I going to say?
I have no idea.
The Windows Live, like that, that's all tied into your Windows 8 machines now. I wonder if that actually stores anything having to do with the fact that you own a copy.
Oh, it might. I don't know. Yeah, with all the connections now with it's
in the cloud.
Yeah, with what is it? Windows 1. Oh, what is it called? Their cloud software.
OneDrive.
Yeah, OneDrive. Thank you. All I can remember is One. It used to be SkyDrive, and they had some kind of issue legally about SkyDrive, so they changed that to OneDrive. Do they not research this stuff before they release it?
I don't think so.
You know what I mean? It's like, let's just name it what we want, and then afterwards, crap, we'll change it.
Yeah, I copyrighted the Sky a long time ago.
Yeah, and Drive. Everybody has
that. Is mine.
SkyDrive, OneDrive, whatever. But now,
You owe me royalties every time you enjoy the Sky.
No.
Oh, all right.
I owe you nothing. We don't enjoy it over here.
Yeah, exactly. He lives in Ireland. There's no enjoying there. Good call. Oh,
did we just dribble?
I think he did.
Need a bib.
Oh gosh, let's take a quick break and we'll come back. We've talked enough. I think Windows 10. We know it's going to be Windows 8 with new updates, but yeah, I do urge you guys to download it and try it out, and let me know if you find other things in there that I haven't talked about, and I'll do some videos about it. We'll throw it up on, maybe throw it on the Digital Craft, throw it on the YouTube page for TDC. Some videos. But, yeah, we'll come back and we'll talk about the water issue in Ireland and apparently in Detroit, as John told me. And then I have some wacky news stories and some cool Kickstarters to talk about, too. So we'll be right back on Livespeak Radio.
Hey everybody, this is John from Livespeak Radio. Radio advertising has always been one of the best mediums for businesses to reach their target audience, and with the success of internet radio, it's reached a whole new level. Internet radio is the most cost-effective way to reach a wider audience, and at Livespeak Radio, we have a global audience. That means that we can offer the ideal platform for your business to advertise. To advertise on Livespeak Radio, get in touch with us today through our website at livespeakradio.com or send us an email to marketing@livespeakradio.com.
Big mama, shake it like you really can. Goddamn, wish I sure could be your man. Hot time living in your neighborhood. Supper time, baby, you be looking good now.
Aw, geez, not again. John spilled his Pepsi. Can someone call an intern? And while they're at it, can someone please get Alan some pants? Back to the show, I guess.
I told you I wear pants now.
I'm glad. We do need to change that and change it to, what are you wearing now? Pants but no zipper? Pants but no underwear? No.
No, I don't roll that way.
That's not your style?
Nah.
Okay. Well, must
I
be
like
confused.
to be secure.
Like to have spandex, tight spandex all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, keeping everything in its place. Oh, gosh. So we were talking about Windows 10 before the break, and I wanted to move past that because I wanted to talk about the water issues going on over in Ireland, and I wanted to give John a chance to kind of talk about it and get it out to some people because it's strange to me, and it's wrong that it's a civil liberties breach, in my opinion. They're triple charging, as we just learned, for water. What's next? Air?
Yeah, that is the running joke here at the moment. But it is enshrined in our Constitution that we have a right to clean drinking water.
Yeah.
And it's also enshrined in the Constitution that it belongs to the people. But just
Take a page from America, that doesn't matter then.
Right.
Well, Detroit started to charge for water recently enough as well, and it's created major issues because I know Detroit declared themselves bankrupt as a city.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, there's nobody there to enjoy the water.
Yeah. All 12 people.
Make it. Yeah.
But what they didn't realize that there's 35% of the people in Detroit living below the poverty line, according to the statistics, and they've turned people's water off for non-payment of the bill, which they've been condemned for doing because it's a breach of human rights. But just to give you a bit of background on what's happening over here, the banks sold us out a couple of years back. They went bust because they were doing dodgy dealings. They went bankrupt. And the Irish government stupidly guaranteed them, which meant that we had to borrow billions from the EU and the IMF. And what unknown to us at the time, part of the criteria or part of the terms and conditions of signing up for this bailout, which was a private debt that the government made a sovereign debt, illegally, of course. But part of the terms and conditions of this bailout was that we would privatise public services to pay for the bailout. And one of the services that they talked about were water meters. Now, they've done a couple of sneaky things in the last few years to preempt bringing them in. They've added what's called a local property tax, which means that you pay tax on your house, depending on how much it's worth. They've added charges on top of wages and more taxes. But the recent one is that they've installed meters in 400,000 homes in Ireland to meter the water. They've set up a company called Irish Water, imaginatively enough, Irish Water. And if you've seen their logo, It is extremely creative. Yeah. If you've seen their logo, they paid €20,000 for a logo, which is about $24,000, and it basically is a blue background with Ishka Éireann on it, which is Irish for Irish water. Very, very creative altogether. €20,000. But anyways, so what they've done now is they're going to start charging for water come January. We receive our first bills in January. Now, the government set up this company, this private company called Irish Water, and they've basically forced everybody into paying for the water. But there's a big movement going on here at the moment. It's an anti-water meter movement, basically challenging what's going on. They're stopping the company from putting meters in, and they've started a big campaign to basically send back the application packs. You actually have to apply for your allowances. You have a certain free allowance. Each person has a certain free allowance, and it's well below what a normal person would use in a year. So by sending you out these packs, what they're actually doing is they're tricking you into signing a contract, because under EU law and under Irish law, it's illegal to forcibly enter someone into a contract against their will.
Right.
A contract is an agreement between two parties and requires consent from both sides. And what they're doing is they're sending out these application packs in the form of an application pack to say, we need your information in order to bill you correctly. But what you're actually doing is that's your contract. Once you sign it, they have you. So what's happening at the moment is, excuse me, we think that about 600,000 people have sent back their application forms with no consent, no contract, return to sender written on it. So there's a mass campaign of non-payment. And there's a march as well on next Saturday in Dublin, in the Garden of Remembrance. And we're asking people to turn up, and basically there'll be a speech given in the park, and then we'll march through the main street in Dublin. We'll cause as much disruption peacefully as possible. And we basically want our government out. Just what I was saying there a minute ago about the fact that we already pay for water. Back in 1996, they tried to bring in water charges as well. And what it was defeated at the time. So what the government said we would do was, right, we'll add 2% to general taxation, and 2% of your general tax will pay for water services. We'll also add 5% on top of your vehicle registration tax, which every vehicle owner pays every year. And that money was going to go to fund local water services. Now, last year, they raised 1.6 billion in revenue to go towards water services in Ireland. They only used 1.2 billion of it. So there's 400 million missing.
Whoa.
For a start. And it also, funnily enough, cost almost 400 million to set up Irish Water. Public money was used to set up a private company.
Oh, interesting how that works out.
So, and the thing about it is the media are completely ignoring what's going on here. And there's a reason behind this, and this may seem a little bit long-winded, but the national media here in Ireland will not put out anything that's anti-government, because they rely on government funding and they get a large proportion of the TV license revenue.
Of course.
So they don't want to cut that off. But secondly, there's a problem that the guy that's installing the water meters, his name is Dennis O'Brien, he's an Irish billionaire who lives in Malta. He got the contract to install the water meters. Now, this guy was 300 million in debt up until 2 years ago, I think. And the Irish government recommended the banks write off the debt. So he had that debt written off. And then he turns on and gets the contracts to install the water meters.
Oh my
now,
gosh.
he owns or has interest in up to 100 businesses in Ireland, most of which include all the national media, radio stations and newspapers. So they won't report anything to do with the no side. So there's basically no coverage going on. I can turn on the Irish television now and I can see about the protests going on in Hong Kong, but there isn't a word on the news about the protests that are going on in my own country.
Oh, of course not. They have control over it.
There's a complete media blackout.
Mm-hmm.
But we've gathered momentum now on Facebook, which is primarily where a lot of this has been organised from. And there's a huge, huge campaign now. One of the newspapers in question put up a poll today, the Irish Independent, which is partly owned by Dennis O'Brien. And they put up a poll, and the question was, will you pay your water bill when it arrives in January? 88% said no. Okay? The poll was put up this morning at some stage, and it was taken down this afternoon.
Oh.
There's no longer a record of it.
See, now, I don't understand. That's, God, freedom of speech right there. I mean, allowing people to voice their opinions and hatred towards things, if they will. That, again, is civil liberty. It's human right to be able to say, no, let's talk about it, or no, we don't want it, and be able to get that information out. But if they're just taking it offline as soon as you do it, that's very slanted.
Oh, yeah, and everything that makes him or the government look bad is basically swept under the carpet. There was a journalist writing for the Irish Independent, which is, again, one of Dennis O'Brien's controlled papers, and she actually wrote an article about him and published it. And he insisted that it be retracted in the next edition, that she print a retraction. even though what she wrote was factual, and she actually discussed the media blackout and the censorship in it, and that's the part he objected to. But this Dennis O'Brien guy is in the politicians' pockets, or should I say, they're in his pocket, because this guy is benefiting from everything. He got issued with a mobile phone license illegally by the Irish government. It was never put out to tender. He got the license. 12 months later, he sold it for over 300 million euros.
Holy crap.
So that's what this guy is about. This guy is about profit.
And the meters, that seems kind of rushed too. Because I was reading that they went down for a day and didn't work properly. And the fact that all this information they have on the Irish Water website, there's a PDF about how safe the water meters are, and talking about the RF. They're automatic meters, so they don't even have to. They don't have to enter your property or anything like that to read them.
No,
they just drive by.
All they have to do is drive past.
Yeah, and it just picks that up. Now, to me, there's a lot that can go wrong in that area,
But there's lots of research proving that those meters are a main cause of cancer because of the microwave radiation that they emit. They emit electromagnetic pulses every 6 seconds. And these are going all of the time.
And they have so much, this PDF that I'm looking at now, is there's so much information showing that how safe they are, and that the microwave oven in your home is much more dangerous than this. But they also leave out all the other information about how dangerous they are. They won't tell you anything about it.
The difference is, though, your microwave oven isn't running 24 hours a day. That's what they seem to. And the other side of it, too, is like this is all information that's gotten from the manufacturer's website. It's very easy for a manufacturer to leave certain points out.
Yep.
It's easy for a manufacturer to turn around and say their product is safe. All the cigarette manufacturers did it for years and got away with it.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, I don't think it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean...
But not just that. They've forced... Everybody here has a social security number, and that social security number is unique to you. It's your personal one for use for whatever pension-related or social welfare-related transactions that you do with the government. They've given these social security numbers to a private company, Irish Water, who, as part of their terms and conditions, said that they can share your private data with people outside of the Irish state and the EU. And like their terms and conditions are already set up so that they can sell the company off. So, they're covering themselves in everything they're doing. But what they did was there was a breach of their data because they sent out 6,300 information packs out to people, or application packs, with the wrong details on them. They actually had other people's names and addresses on them and their social security numbers. So that was a big breach. But these guys have created so much waves, and they've drawn the attention of Anonymous.
Oh, yeah.
Anonymous hacked their website about 2 weeks ago. Well, actually, they hacked the website of a company called SiteServe, which is the parent company of the companies that are putting in the water meters.
But the rebellion.
I'm honest to God, I'm 40 years in Ireland, and I have never seen anything like what's going on here at the moment. It's so close to revolution. I've never seen it like this. Even the guards now, or our police force, are protecting the people that are putting in the water meters, which is completely against their constitutional oath. They're not supposed to. They're called Garda Síochána, which is Irish for Guardians of the Peace.
Yeah, not Guardians of the Greedy.
They're constitutionally bound to protect the public citizens and not get involved in a civil matter. But yet they're arresting people, bringing them to the station and releasing them straight away because they can't charge them with a crime because they're not committing a crime. They're peacefully protesting.
Yeah. But you can still be arrested and that shows up.
Yeah, but they're lifting people and putting them into the backs of police vans without telling them why they're being arrested, which is illegal.
That's very illegal.
You know, you have to be informed of what act or what's, you're being arrested for.
That's
to
weird.
America, John.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's just like
we'll come on over here.
It's kidnapping. I mean, in any other way, unless you have a badge.
Yeah,
because they can get away with it.
But not only that, they arrested a 15-year-old child last week for standing on a water meter, or for standing on a box. The cover for the stopcock for your house.
Mm-hmm.
Irish law states that anything that's attached to your house is your property by extension. It's called curtilage. So any pipework that runs from your mains to the public water main is your property, and that includes the stopcock.
Oh.
And these people are actually removing the stopcock and placing a new one in it that contains the meter. So while they're on public property, yes, they're on a public footpath and doing it, they're actually damaging and interfering with your property without your permission.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of people don't realise. And the thing about it is, the government have people scared into thinking that they have no choice but to pay these fees.
Right. Because that's all they're told. That's all they hear.
They're afraid that they're going to be deducted at source. Like that, they brought in the local property tax a couple of years back. There was a tax on people's homes. And initially, they hadn't it set up that revenue could collect it, but now revenue can take it from whatever wages or whatever you're getting, because revenue can do that. They can take taxes on whatever. But this company is a private company, and they have people scared into thinking that it's the same as the property tax. But a private company has no right to make any demands on your wages without a contract. So, that's what people are scared of. People are scared of the fact that they're going to have to pay and that it's going to be taken from them at source. There's families of 5 and 6 people that are looking at bills of over €1,000 a year for water.
That's ridiculous. For something as abundant as that. And, the water that you are getting right now is not safe at all. I mean, the tap water there is disgusting.
Yeah, in a lot of cases. Now, I have to say where I'm living, it's pretty good because we had all new pipes put down about maybe 10 years ago. But in a lot of cases, especially in Dublin, the pipes are old lead pipes that were put down maybe 150, 200 years ago.
Good
so there's also the matter of fluoride.
Yeah, they're just dumping fluoride into it, to clean it up, but that's not good for you.
Love that stuff.
Well, our water is fluoridated, and fluoride is a medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a byproduct of manufacturing. It's a waste product, but it's not recommended for children under a certain age. There's actually warnings for people in Europe that travel to Ireland. They're actually warned not to use the water from the tap to make a baby's bottle because it's fluoridated.
Interesting. See, I don't even know if ours is here. I thought ours had fluoride in it and chlorine,
some states in the US still fluoridate water. There's huge campaigns, but 98% of countries in Europe don't do it anymore because they say it's illegal. Because when you put fluoride into a water, you actually make it a medical product.
Yeah.
And if you look at your toothpaste, there's a warning on your toothpaste to say that it contains fluoride.
Yeah, don't eat it.
Which they have to do by law because there's an additive in it. So we're one of the few countries in Europe that still fluoridates water. And fluoride is known to make a population passive.
Yeah. And not only that, but it does bad things to your bones. It does things to your organs.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing.
I think the passive part's the worst part.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad.
Exactly. If you're just going to sit and...
I drink enough Pepsi to counteract it anyways.
Exactly. Now I know why you're on a Pepsi diet. It all
I
makes
gotta pay
total
for
sense.
water? I don't mind.
That's good.
Water's cool.
But it does. It causes so many other problems. It causes fecal abnormalities. It causes cancer. They know, and it also they think that it causes Parkinson's disease.
Wow. And you'd think that would be enough to make them say, okay, we can't do that anymore, but they don't care. And I don't know how you get to that.
In there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we
That's
already have
popular right now.
cryptosporidium. We have cryptosporidium in water in parts of Ireland. There's a boil notice on a lot of places in Ireland before they use water to boil it.
Good Lord. It's unbelievable. I never thought of Ireland having that kind of problem.
You see, it isn't public knowledge. It's only recently when people started to stand up for it's gone too far at this stage. People started to stand up, started to become aware. Wait a minute now, we're paying for something. Like, firstly, that was private bank debt. Those guys were speculators on the stock exchange, and they lost. And the government took a private bank debt and they made it a sovereign debt by guaranteeing it, by saying that we'd pay it.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Ireland is responsible for 41% of the EU bailout debt. A country that has less than 1% of the population of Europe is responsible for over 40% of the bank debt.
Wow, that should be a big red flag there.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
But it's all about money. That's what it's all about. That's all they're interested in. They want to get their big jobs in Europe. They know they're not going to get elected in a second time as well, so they're all making sure that they have their golden handshakes ready for when they finish.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Greed. Pure greed. Just destroys.
So that's what we're up against. So if I want to shower anymore, I have to wait till it rains and go out the back.
Fresh water. Awesome.
I've got an old tin bucket out the back with holes in it underneath.
I got a copyright on rain too.
Yeah, that's right. Sky and rain. Can't use it.
Pay up, buddy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but one of the wettest countries in Europe and indeed the world actually has to pay for water since the 1st of October.
That is crazy. That
Isn't
is
it?
absolutely crazy.
Apart from
my
the fact
children
that
would say it's cray cray.
It's cray-cray.
Apart from the fact that, we're going to pay per litre that we use, but we're already paying 2% of our VAT and 2% of our vehicle registration tax that pays for it. So they're not even taking that away. Do you know, most people would have no problem paying if they reduced the taxes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
How much money could they possibly need to endanger a whole bunch of people? I don't understand it.
So do you still want to come to Ireland?
Nope.
Yeah, I'll just bring a couple bottles of water with me
Yeah.
and hope it doesn't get stolen out of my bag.
Might not be a bad idea.
There's going to be people selling smart waters on the corner.
Smart water.
Unopened smart water.
It didn't work.
No, it didn't. Made us all more dumb. That's all right. Well, it sucks that that's going on over there, and I really hope that enough people learn about it and stand up against it. You don't see it enough anymore.
There's a huge march on next Saturday in Dublin at 2 p.m.
Yeah, you don't see that very much anymore.
Well, there was a small one the week before last where 4,000 people turned up, and the Irish broadcasting station said that 300 turned up.
Really?
Yeah.
So they absolutely make it sound like it was nothing.
Yeah. And the only reason it got broadcast on the news is because after the 4,000 march, whatever, 2 or 3 people decided they were going to sit on the road. 2 or 3 idiots decided they were going to sit on the road and block the traffic, and they were arrested.
Well,
And that was the only reason that it got on the news, because in order to mention the fact that the guards or the police arrested protesters, they had to say that there was a protest. So they're using every tactic to make the protesters look bad,
of course.
you know. But, you know, you can't, 4,000 people turned up and 3 people got arrested because three idiots were idiots. You can't legislate for idiots,
No.
you know. But they jumped on that. And that was the only part they mentioned.
Oh, of course. That's good PR for them.
Of course.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, I don't know. I'm still coming to Ireland at some point. I'll come over there and I'll change it all. No, I won't. I'll just.
You can't stay with me because I don't have an allowance of water for you. If you're coming to stay with me, I have to apply for an allowance for water.
You're just going to have to. No, you'll just sneak me in. Sneak me in the
you're
back.
You're only allowed to shower once a week.
Oh, man. Well, that's more
That'll
than
work.
right now anyway, so that's good. It's a little more than I do now, so, well, oh well.
And you have to shower with me. We all have to shower together.
Okay.
Yay!
Great.
It's called water conservation.
Yep, shared showering.
Yeah,
Shared
take one for
shower.
the team.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of unbelievable, I want to move on past this. I read a couple news stories. I like to, every now and again, find those wacky, weird news stories. And there's a news story, of course, it's on Huffington Post, so believe it or not, it's 12 unbelievable things people have actually been arrested for and thrown in jail for. And the first one that I read on here just absolutely cracked me up because it's about a girl, Ashley Huff, who was a 23-year-old who was riding in a passenger seat of her car, and this is in Gainesville, Georgia. And a police officer pulled the car over for a routine traffic stop. And when the cops searched her bag, they found a spoon that was covered in a mysterious residue. It was dirty, and Huff explained it was because she had recently eaten SpaghettiOs and placed the dirty spoon in her bag in order to return it to a friend. I don't know who returns spoons to friends, but whatever. Officers thought it might be methamphetamine, so they conducted a field test on the spot, and which reportedly came back positive for methamphetamine. So this girl, 23-year-old Ashley Huff, was charged with possession of methamphetamine and spent 2 weeks behind bars before being released. Now, Huff was later thrown back in jail in August, where she remained for a month and a half until more thorough lab results on her spoon came back, and they revealed that she'd actually only been guilty of possession of SpaghettiOs. It was just SpaghettiO sauce all along. Now, how do you confuse that? What tests were they doing that said, does SpaghettiO have meth in it? And maybe that should be my first question. Is that why it's so amazing?
See, that's it. The government are secretly putting meth into SpaghettiOs to dumb down the population.
I mean, I cannot believe that. They tested it on the spot, and I think that's just crooked. I think they just wanted to say, no, it's just who has a spoon with residue on it? Nobody eats anymore. You're doing meth.
I have one for you.
Yeah.
This is a headline that was in the Huffington Post a couple of days ago.
Uh-oh.
Nervous Chinese authorities perform anal security checks on 10,000 pigeons.
Whoa. Are you kidding me?
I am not.
What the heck for? Why would you have to? Oh, my God.
Doves may symbolize peace, but officials in China aren't willing to risk it, and they're perfectly happy to ruffle some feathers along the way if they have to. To that end, authorities reportedly performed anal security checks on 10,000 pigeons in Beijing ahead of China's National Day holiday on Wednesday. China's state-owned newspaper, The People's Daily, reported on the security probe in a tweet, how apt, on Tuesday, helpfully including a picture of what a suspicious pigeon might look like. Chinese media didn't clarify what sort of suspicious object might be hidden inside a pigeon's anus, the Associated Press notes. Their wings, tail feathers, even their anuses must be carefully checked, an unnamed state security officer told China's legal evening news. The New York Times reports that many Beijing residents own and fly pigeons in keeping with the old cultural tradition. This year's National Day celebration marks the 65th anniversary of Mao Zedong's founding of the People's Republic in 1949. So,
unbelievable.
To be a pigeon in China.
Oh, to be the guy that had to do the searching. 10,000 pigeon anuses in a day.
I think
Either that or is this one guy that's been really looking forward to that for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally happened.
Go get Marv. He likes this stuff. He'll do it. Yeah. He's down in the mail department. He talks about it every day. Go get him.
A lot of Asian Marvs out there.
Yeah, I don't know where that came. He's a rare guy.
John talks about politics and important things, and I'm silent. And then you start talking about anal cavity searches, and pigeons, and I'm all excited.
We know what you're like. We know what stories you enjoy.
I'm sure there was probably about 10,000 tweets after that.
Probably a whole lot of loud ones. Oh my
Are
gosh!
the pigeons protesting?
Yes, they're tweeting.
Yeah, actively tweeting. Oh my god!
I'd love it if the guy's name got out. Can you imagine his life from this point on?
Oh, put that on your resume. Holy cow! What'd you do for your last job there, Marv?
Oh, I'm responsible for the Great Pigeon Anal Cavity Search in 2014.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Had to be
I saw
done.
that during the week, and I straight away just thought of Justin.
Yeah, of course.
So we have to share that.
It was ridiculous. Oh, this other person was arrested for twerking. In Lake County, Florida last year, a homeless woman was actually arrested and charged with disorderly conduct after allegedly dancing in a vulgar manner in front of a school bus full of children.
I'm totally for this one.
The arresting officer claimed she was also screaming profanities at the bus. The woman was released from jail after posting a $250 bond a month before a YouTube video that was supposed to show a vlogger twerking in front of an Orlando, Florida bar ended up showing her getting arrested by an undercover cop instead. So don't go out twerking.
Yeah, I think
gonna get
twerkers
arrested.
should get cavity searches too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I don't know why these things are. I don't know if they're laws, but cops just feel like they can arrest people. In 2008, a 13-year-old Florida student was actually arrested and hauled off to the police station after disrupting a class by farting. Seriously, a cop came and arrested a 13-year-old student and took him to the police station for farting in class. Now, how do you write that up to your commanding officer? I mean, what do you tell him? Yeah, I got this kid in here. He smells.
Got him on a flatulent.
Got him on a flatulent. Just ridiculous. I watched something the other day, Bill Maher on HBO, talking about a lot of the cop shootings and things that have been going on. And it seems like, I know there's a lot of good police officers out there, and it's a dangerous job, but it also seems like their number one priority anymore is to protect themselves instead of protect us. And that was their job. They're supposed to protect and serve people, their communities. But it seems like the first thing they want to protect is themselves, and they usually draw their gun. It's the first thing they do. Or just arrest people for farting at age 13. Unbelievable.
Must have been pretty volatile.
It had to have been. I guess. I mean, arrest the person that's doing the cavity searches on pigeons.
Yeah.
That's not
Or
good.
arrest these people. An Australian hospital accidentally declared 200 people dead.
They declared 200 people dead.
They declared 200 people dead. An Australian hospital has apologised unreservedly after sending out notices to the doctors of more than 200 patients telling them that they had died instead of that they had been discharged.
Oh, oh man. I would not want to get that letter.
No.
Wait, what?
So,
The error by Austin Hospital in Melbourne was spotted within hours. Now, it took hours for this to be spotted. And the doctors were contacted, but not before at least one had called a family member to express their condolences.
I'm sorry you died today, but you coming home later for dinner? Oh, my God.
Austin Health, which runs the hospital, said the notices, which were sent on Wednesday, 30th of July, were a result of a human error after changes to a death notification template were saved to the standard discharge template. On recognising the error on Wednesday morning, Austin Hospital immediately contacted all GP clinics affected. It said, we apologise unreservedly to affected clinics who, for the most part, were very understanding about the error. Ms. Sheehy said patient care was not affected. But the president of the Australian Medical Association State Branch, Tony Bartone, said the blunder was unacceptable. IT issues must not undermine patient care or trust in the Victoria healthcare system. And we've seen a trend here.
Yeah.
And she also said many of these GPs have long relationships with these patients and their families. It would have been distressing to receive such a fax, especially relating to the unexpected death of children and teenagers.
Yeah. Just went in to get a flu shot and came out dead. What?
Yeah.
No. That is funny. Oh my gosh. Oh, I wanted to talk about one more thing real quick. Also, real quick, I want to thank IndianaTalks.com for having us on. Of course, we're at the hour mark, so say bye. Bye. Have fun.
Bye.
Oh, that was in unison. Very well done. There's a new Kickstarter for Matchstick, it's called. It's a streaming stick built on Firefox OS. So Firefox now has a Chromecast, basically, and it's called Matchstick. And they wanted $100,000 is their goal, and they actually ended up so far with $310,000 for their goal. They still have 24 days left for this, and they said for the pledge right now, if you pay, since all of them are gone up to $34 or more, there's where it starts now, and that'll get you 2 of the matchsticks. You could have paid $24 for the developer unit. You can get a matchstick and then get access to all the APIs and the SDKs if you want to develop for it. But it's still it's open source, open hardware, open software, the whole platform. So kind of like the Chromecast, that is the thing now. I guess everybody's making these new sticks. They have digital or smart TVs, basically.
So do we have a cost price on it?
I don't know. Gosh,
One matchstick retail price would be $25, free shipping in the United States.
Oh, okay. So it'll be cheaper than the Chromecast.
25. That's not bad. I would be tempted
not bad
to do.
at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
and
see
it's going to do.
Microsoft are bringing one as well, I think. aren't
Yeah, what was that called? I know it's not Cortana. That's the new talking thing. Yeah, Microsoft is trying to do one. I can't remember what it's called though.
I saw it last week, and I actually meant to bookmark it, but I obviously got sidetracked by something else.
Windows Stick.
Is that what it is?
No, I have no idea. Sounds good though. No, I was just looking at Kickstarters, and I saw that matchstick, and I thought, why not? For $25, again, you have access to YouTube and Vimeo. Probably, I mean, they show ESPN on here, Spotify, HBO Go. It's basically the same thing, $10 cheaper than Chromecast.
Oh.
But we'll see when it comes out. I don't know exactly when that'll come out, but they've raised enough money, over 12,000 backers for that, so that'll be interesting. I know Firefox OS, they've been trying to do a couple different things. I had no idea they were working on a streaming stick, but hey, why not? It's a cheap little thing for them to make, and I mean, geez, Chromecast was sold out the day it hit the market, so.
I've actually gotten a few people to buy those recently.
The Chromecast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to convince people too, because there's a lot more applications for it now. Tons and tons of them. Chromecast software.
Well, it's really handy. Like I took it, I just plucked mine out of my TV and took it up to Lake with me so I can stream from my phone.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you have the internet, take it anywhere. And an HDMI port, of course. Mm-hmm. Which almost everything has now.
From what I can see, it's imaginatively enough called wireless display adapter.
Oh, the Windows one? That sounds right, because that's what they've called they had a screen mirroring wireless display. So now
it's $60.
Wow. They didn't even try to come close.
And it's USB powered.
Of course.
So you have to plug it into your HDMI port, excuse me, and you have to plug it into your USB port on your TV.
And that looks like the same for this matchstick. However, I do know, even with the Chromecast, if you have the new HDMI 3.0 ports on your TV, which are newer TVs, they will actually power through the HDMI as well. So you don't have to have the USB. But if you have an older TV with HDMI 2.1 or less, then you have to have the USB power or the little brick adapter for it. But even still, like, it's so small. You, like Alan said, you just pull it out the back of your TV and take it with you. Go to a hotel, wherever you're at, plug it in, hook it to the internet, and you have your Netflix or your Hulu or your HBO Go. Everything right there. And they're cheap. I mean, I have two of them. I have one for my TV upstairs, one for downstairs.
Nice.
It's nice. I mean, really cheap. I was looking. I found another Kickstarter to talk about real quick. It's called the Dharma. It's it's kind of funny to me, but they made a lot of money so far off of it, and it's a seat cushion basically. It's a smart seat cushion that you sit on all day at work, and it measures your stress levels, your sitting habits, your posture, and probably your farts, and at what level to arrest you at. And it actually teaches you how to sit better, apparently, and it gives you reminders on when to get up, and it monitors your heart rate. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how accurate that is through your butt, but I guess you have
That's
a pulse.
not how you monitor it?
Well, I guess not. No. But these guys, holy crap, they get $40,000 is all they want, and it's just a simple little seat cushion with some sensors in it, and it, of course, Bluetooth to your phone with their app. And they already have $140,000, and they still have 40 days to go.
Wow.
I'm going to send you guys something that's related to this.
I just can't believe that.
Probe?
Is it a probe?
Yeah.
How did you know?
Yeah.
It's
So I could have used this on my chair the other day at work. I'm in a little dark. Yeah, because I want it to tell me things like when I'm gonna die. But it got me in a corner with the lights don't even work, and I have no windows, and you know what I mean.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
very fun. So we just got rid of a secretary who had a desk by the windows, and it's towards the end of the day, Friday, and I'm thinking, I'll spend the last hour over on the windowed desk with a view. The chair broke in pieces while I was sitting in it. It broke metal.
Dang, man.
Like an inch by an inch and a half thick on both sides. Broke in half.
Holy crap, eat a salad.
I know, dude. I'm thinking the Sit Smart would have been like, hey, man.
Wow.
You think they're trying to tell you something?
I think so.
To get back in your corner, man.
Yeah, go back to your basement.
My picture didn't send.
It's interesting, though. I mean, we always talk about wearable devices and how things are, monitoring our heart rate and pedometers and all that stuff. Now we're getting to this sort of stuff where it's monitoring our sedentary life and saying, hey, you sit down too much. Mm-hmm. I mean, I sit at work all day. And I do, when I get into projects and stuff, forget that, 2 hours, 3 hours has gone by. And I get a lot of neck pain and things like that from hunching and not sitting properly. But, I mean, as opposed to using a yoga ball, like people I know at work do, they sit on that for good posture, which it would explode if I did. I could probably sit on one of these without destroying it, maybe. I don't see a weight limit. Can't tell. We'll find out. But $140,000 for a seat cushion with some sensors in it. There you go.
But awesome. I don't need something telling me that I'm sitting down too long. I know I'm sitting down
exactly. There's a
the heartbeat thing would be.
That'd be nice. I mean, it tells you. It basically knows when you're stressing out, your stress level, because your heart rate goes up and things like that. The way you sit is different, and so it tries to remind you, hey, calm down, go do something else. That's cool. That's a nice little reminder. They do have.
I know I'm stressed already because I'm screaming at my screens.
Exactly. I know I'm stressed because I'm at work. That's done. I already knew that. But I don't know. It's interesting. It looks like it was came from a Arduino board to start with. Go figure. But there's a lot of cool Kickstarters out right now, and another one that I'll talk about, and then I'll get off the Kickstarter kick, is the Neo Smart Pen. Alan, you've showed me the little pens, the digital pens that you write with. I can't ever remember the name of them. But this one's a little digital pen that writes with a regular ink, and then it also translates onto your phone or whatever it's hooked into. So I'd like to get one of these bad boys. There's the link right there. I'll throw it in the chat too.
I remember we talked about something similar.
Yeah, and there's usually they usually have to have some sort of a sensor, like you clip onto the top of the page, or you clip onto your monitor if you're going to use it to write on your monitor. This one looks like it's just all in the pen. You just have the pen, and that's it. It must be Bluetooth. Yeah, you have to have some kind of software, I'm sure. But not bad.
Do you need to sharpen it?
I don't think so. So they wanted 20 grand, and they ended up with 153,000. That's kind of crazy.
Goodness.
For a pen. For a smart
Looks pretty
pen.
useful.
It does. I would absolutely love to have one of these, just because I don't, when I'm at work, I write down all my tasks. I write down things I'm randomly thinking about, what projects I need to work on. I write them on my notepad. I don't put them into a computer or organize them all nice. I just write them down as quickly as I think of them. But then I don't have any way to go back and reference that unless I...
When you're writing in your notepad, you should hold it up in front of your face and look around the room and then write stuff.
So people
just throw your eyes from left to right. Focus on someone and then write.
And then just write and stare at them.
Just freak everybody out.
Oh, gosh.
I do that, only I'm sitting in a room on my own all day long.
Oh, so you write about yourself and freak yourself out? That's good. Good for you. Well, gentlemen, it's been fun. But I think that's it. I have nothing else to talk about. There's more Kickstarters if you go to Kickstarter.com. We have some on our website, livespeakradio.com. Are there any resources or websites you can think of, John, for the Irish water thing? Anything to learn about it?
Well, there's a lot of groups on Facebook. One of them is called Fight the Water Tax Legally.
That's probably the better area to go to, because that's got more information. More people, you end up going to the Irish Water website. It's all their information. So
you won't see them on the national media websites either.
No,
because they just don't report on it. There are a few. There's one called the National Citizens Movement. They're pretty active as well. They've actually taken a case against the Irish government, challenging the legality of what they've done. So that'd be an interesting one to watch. But yeah, the National Citizens Movement are one of the people that are involved in organising the protest march next Saturday. So they'd be a good starting point.
Okay, that's good. And of course, we have to hope and thank Anonymous for staying in the fight there. Absolutely. Anonymous, take them out if they keep doing that crap. Have fun.
What they actually did was they published the names, addresses, and kind of details about the people that were installing them and the people who got the contracts.
Oh,
so it was pretty interesting.
That's nice. Give out the names, make them all ashamed. Mm-hmm. Good. And
it was actually a MySQL database that they hacked, because you could see the format of it. That's why I knew it was legit.
Good. That's awesome. Well, like I said, I hope that gets better over there, and I really hope that the march goes well and that it gets some traction, and that they don't say like 200 people showed up.
No, there'll be a lot more than that.
But we'll keep reporting on it, and I'm sure we'll have some stories and stuff posted on Facebook about it throughout the week. But that does it for us here at LiveSpeak Radio. We'll be back next week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook.com/LiveSpeakRadio, Twitter @LiveSpeakRadio, and visit our website, LiveSpeakRadio.com. We'll see you next week here on LiveSpeak Radio, where we do it live.
Thank you for listening to Live Speak Radio with hosts Justin Gilson and Alan Quant. Tune in next week to hear more amazing tech news, gadget reviews, and interviews. Don't be afraid to release your inner geek. Listen to Live Speak.